Well, hi there, Taylor with Prep Talk. Wanted to wrap up the series on Hurricane Katrina with this last episode and give you a last few little tidbits of some things that I learned and helped us really escape. And I left off on my last little video segment as we were crossing the Mississippi River. We saw a billboard that I'd actually seen twice, an old-fashioned billboard that was making mention of some old truck stop, and we pulled off anyway at that exit and found the truck stop and realized there was only a couple of cars there filling up with gas. And so we quickly came and got in line. In fact, there was just one car ahead of us by the time we got there, and he not only was filling up with gas, but he was also filling up a couple of 5-gallon gas containers. And he finished, everything worked fine, and we immediately pulled up and were able to use the credit card once again. It worked. And we're able to start filling up the tank. And once again, we were so glad when you hear the click of the handle of the nozzle, meaning that your tank is full. And now we knew that we would have enough fuel to make it all the way to Texas. But an interesting thing happened. I went inside, once again, to the little store that was part of this truck stop to pick up some snacks, get some food, because we hadn't really had much to eat that day. And as I was in there gathering up a few miscellaneous little things, a gentleman came into the door and looked at the cashier and said, hey, the pumps aren't working. And she thought for a minute and looked at a few things. She said, oh, I guess we're out of gas. Oh my gosh. Just within a matter of 5 minutes after we had finished filling our tank, they ran out of gas. Another miracle enabling us to get out. So we had enough fuel to make it. So we got back on the road and were able to make it to actually a relative's house that lived in Texas, and able to communicate with our family. And the next morning we were able to fly out of there and get home. Of course, we just left the rental car there in the airport, let them do with it what they needed to. But there are some interesting things that I learned. Quite a few of them. First of all, it was a unique experience being that far away from home and not having any of the preps and not really being able to communicate well with your loved ones that were at home, not knowing what was going on. First and foremost, I think it's critical that we have cash on hand. And a lot of them in small bills, 1s, 5s, 10s, even 20s, have a lot of those somewhere safe in your home. Because should the power go down, or should there be a natural disaster of some sort that knocks the grid down for a period of time, the only way you're going to be able to transact any business is if you have cash. That's an important thing. And so I know that we've made some significant changes on how we're handling that and preparing to make sure that we have some of that on hand. And also, as I mentioned in one of my other videos, making sure you have a game plan in place on how to communicate with others. And even with some of my family members that don't live right in our community, but live within 50 miles or so away, we've sat down and we've put together emergency plans that if we had an earthquake or something else and their building or their apartment wasn't safe, where they could go that would be safe, and where we could maybe after a couple of days find them and be able to bring them back to our home. Making sure that you have flashlights, that you can't really take when you fly and travel a lot of things that you'd normally want to have, whether it be a knife or other preparedness things, but you could take with you a flashlight. Thank goodness we had the laptop with us that provided some illumination, but flashlights are so inexpensive anymore, and they're very bright and very handy. To always travel with a flashlight just makes an awful lot of sense. And then making sure that you're very aware of your surroundings, making sure that you know who you're associating with, who could possibly be a potential danger, who could maybe have a desire to try to take some of the things that you have, and distancing yourself from those people. Not trying to confront them, but to distance yourself to protect yourself and others. Anyway, there was a lot that my son and I learned during Hurricane Katrina, some miracles that really made a difference and saved us and enabled us to get out. And I sincerely hope that this series of videos has been beneficial to you and that you've learned a few things that might potentially help you in the future. So till next time, thanks.